are going to now put together your canopy. So let's identify the parts that came in the box, which are the upright, which consists of 3 pieces. This piece here, and there's 2 side pieces that have click buttons at the bottom. That's your upright. And then your canopy structure is right here that's going to be taped together. You're also going to have your fabric canopy. We're going to set that to the side for now, and we're going to loosely assemble your upright. What we're going to need for that is the same Phillips head screwdriver. You're also going to need to assemble this whole thing a flathead screwdriver. I just have the tip, so either one will work. 3/8 wrench, and then I just brought my little click knife to cut my tape off. So we're going to assemble this one right now real loosely, because it's going to have to come somewhat apart again. Once we get the canopy structure, then you'll see why these bolts are really long, because they are the correct bolts, but they are really long. But you'll find out why as soon as we start to put that together. So what we're going to do, the click button goes to the inside. So you're going to find the hole right there. Put your screw in from the inside to where the cap nut will be on the outer side of that. And just loosely fit on there, just tight enough to where you won't lose the cap nut. Same thing on this side. Loosen that. Find the hole. And just loosely put that on there, just like I said, just tight enough so it won't come off and you lose it. So let's set that to the side, because we are done with that part for now. So now, I'm just going to cut apart the canopy structure. And we'll identify these parts once we get out of the tape. Okay. Okay. Now that's done. These here, you're going to have 2 of these pieces that look just like this. These are part of the rear canopy structure. That piece goes along with this long piece right here. On these ends, in a marker, you're going to find letters. And because these are all hand drilled, just like the adapters, you're going to want to match up the ends because that's how they were drilled. And so this is A, and here's A here, and B. So we're going to put that together. And with this one, you want to put the cap nut towards the inside, which would be down here. And if the holes don't line up when you put it on like that, then just turn it over. It lines up. Because again, there is a jig that these are made with, but they are all hand drilled. Put that in there, and you'll want to tighten it to where it's tight, but not overly tight, because again, it is PVC and it will crack. Let's put the other side, and then we're done with can't really move it. Okay, set that one to the side because we're done with that one. Let's put it down here. Then we're going to do the front round, which it will be partially assembled like this when you get it, and then you'll just have to take the one side and loosen that, and the bolts are in there the way that they need to go. The reason that we put on the cap nuts to the inside is so they don't poke out through the fabric when the fabric is then tightened. You don't want anything poking through it, and it just looks better when the cap nuts or under the canopy are underneath to the inside. It looks better once you get it completely assembled. And then these do need to be tightened down to where it's not moving, but like I said, not so tight to where you're cracking the PVC or that you're poking through the cabinet. And just hand tighten them. You don't need a drill gun or anything like that because those tend to go a little bit too fast and you may crack the PVC or ruin the cabinets by doing that. For the assembly process, I recommend just doing it by hand. So now that we've got these together, this piece here is going to go through the center to connect onto these holes right here once the fabric is on. So now what we're going to do is set that piece aside. Grab your rear canopy structure again. Grab your canopy. Lay the canopy out. It doesn't have to be completely flat because you're gonna maneuver it around. But straight enough to where you put the structure into the casing. You're gonna find a big opening there. Just go underneath the opening. And then thread that through there. Just be careful when you come around to the other side where the opening is because, you don't want to rip it, and then you need to get the structure through the fabric. Okay, just like that. Now, your rear canopy structure is in there. So now you do want to lay it flat on your table. Take your front round. We want this piece, how it's going to curve to make the downward curve, which gives it the aerodynamics that it needs if you're out in the wind or if you're using it on, say, a bicycle or a motor scooter. You'd want that aerodynamic feel going so that it's not going to blow off. If you are in high winds, the aerodynamics of it's going to push it down versus letting it go back. So when you put this in here, if you lay it down, you're going to turn it backwards like this. With the round part, it's going to kind of sit up a little bit, and you're going to put it in there, and then that way when you turn it over, then it's going to be in the correct position. So you're going to feed it through there. Now, I'm going to kind of just leave that there for a moment. I'm going to get this piece. Undo your screw from there, your bolt. Call it a screw, but it's actually a bolt. Set those to the side. And again, I just want to, make sure that everybody knows these are hand done. They are prototypes. So sometimes one side might not fit as well as the other side. So if that's the case when you do put it on, then just flip it over because all the holes, again, are hand drilled. And they might not always fit perfectly. So you just need to flip it over and then the screws will go through. glad that happened because I want everybody to see that, you know, this does happen and it's just real simple. Just turn it around. Now I can see my hole. So now I'm going to take and insert the front round into the rear canopy structure. Okay, what I've discovered is I put this rear canopy structure in backwards. Not really backwards, but I need to flip it over because my holes that are drilled here to here are not matching. So the underneath piece was matching. So it's these holes here are not matching up. So I've got it flip-flopped. So I need to take this rear structure back out. So these are things that you may or may not encounter. You know, if you do put it in backwards, you're just gonna have to take it out and flip it over, just like I'm having to do. Was not expecting to have to do this when I'm doing the instruction video, but that's kind of good because then you see it happens to me too. And I put them together all the time. So, take that back out. And the more you take yours on and off, you'll get, you know, more easily, be able to do it more easily. Also, and that way, you know, when you want to wash your fabric, you know, you'll know how to take it on and off. Or you can come back and watch the video and see how to do it again. So, back in we go. It's a little more difficult when you've already got the front piece in, but because I do have it in the correct position, I don't want to then now take it out again. So it can be put back in, this rear piece with that front piece in. It's just a little bit easier when it is out. Because it's, you know, a bigger piece than that front piece is. There we go. There. Now, everything should go together and line up. And there's that one, yes. Because it did not line up before. I was struggling with it. So now, I'm going to put this back on here. other side. Don't understand why. I just didn't have it pushed down in there far enough. Because I knew it had to go in there. But sometimes you just gotta work with it just a little bit. Because they are all hand built. They are very sturdy and very strong. Oh, I was putting it on the wrong way. Maybe that's why it didn't want to go. Because it's telling me, no, you're putting me in wrong. So now, and the cabinet went right on. So I was putting it in the wrong direction. Because these you want to have do the cabinet to the outside. When it's underneath the fabric, you want to put it to the inside. But on the outside, because this isn't going to be bothered by anything, so you can go on the outside, and that way it's smoother. Because these sometimes when you're using the screwdriver and you're putting those in, they kind of get, sometimes they'll have a little bit of jaggedness to them. Not always, but when it's up against the fabric, you want it, as smooth as possible. So now your canopy is in its place. Now we are going to grab the upright. In the instructions, I have not updated them yet, but in the instructions, the black part of the canopy has a hole in it. I was finding that a little bit difficult, so I changed it up and made it better. So now that's why there's a big hole here in the fabric. It's real easy to put the bolt through. Take it, and you put it through, and you put the cabinet on, all through that one hole. You're going to want to tighten it down, and again, don't tighten it so tight. Here's where you need your regular head. Tighten that up. You want it to have movement. Tighten it enough to where it's good and snug, but not so tight that you're going through the cabinet. Pull this back, find your hole. It's right there. And then tighten that down. And again, just snugging. Anything over tightened, you don't want to go through the top of the cabinet, or you do not want to tighten it so tight to where it's going to break that PVC, because then we're going to have to order new parts. Okay, so now what you're going to do, pop it up like that, just kind of hold it, turn it around, might be a little easier, and you're going to push that up. Sometimes it is a little bit difficult, but it all fits really snug, and that's what keeps it stable. Go up. I always go forward with it, and then bring it back. Get it around here where we can see the size of it. Call these ears. That's going to come around. it's their own personal fit that they want to have. Again, oh, this is where we're going to, that was the only bolt, is this top bolt here, that needed that flat blade screwdriver. Every other bolt is a Phillips head. Tighten that. And just snug. It doesn't need to be so tight to where you're hearing a crack or anything, because that wouldn't be good. And make sure when you put the ears on that whichever hole you decide to put it in, you put the same hole on the opposite side, because if you don't, then you're going to see where the shade's going to be a little bit off, and it's not going to be exactly, straight like it's supposed to be. Tighten that one in. Take your 3-prong clip, flip it in like a backpack, pull it down. Same way here. Tighten. And once you get this on your adapter that you're going to use, either the mobility chair like I'm demonstrating today, or on a bicycle, or on motor scooter, whatever you choose to put the shade on, once you get it on your adapter, you're going to want to make those final adjustments. You may have to adjust it a couple of times to get it to where you're comfortable with it. This here is a cam lock, and what that does is when there is wind on the shade, this lock keeps these from slipping. So it's very, very important that you thread the webbing through that cam lock, and just to work straight with that, and then lock it down. Push and you kind of hear a little bit of a click. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's just that slight click. And as long as that's tight, if this does happen to loosen up a little bit, this is not going to let this webbing come all the way out to where then it's going to, collapse the shade. So whenever you do want to collapse the shade, you just undo it. And then readjust if you need to. There is your canopy. That's going to go onto your mobility scooter, or your bicycle, or motor scooter.